Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're not. I saw the other day that Elm Colors did a Share the Love coloring tag, and I thought it was a great idea, so here's the books that I have out. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question, of course I'm cheating on this, is to share a page that you colored and that you loved. I just recently did this at the end of January, and this is probably my favorite page I've done. Technically speaking and skill-wise, I think it's probably some of the best shading and blending that I've done in a coloring book. But then again, I just love this book in general. There's also another page that I did in here. Let me see if I can find it. It's a Red Riding Hood page that I did a while ago. Oh, here it is. I really love this page. I really love the color choices, and I'm really happy with my trees, surprisingly. The leaves in the background I could have done better, but I think overall it's a pretty good page. I also really like the shading that I did on her cloak. I think I did pretty good on that one. Another page that I did that I really liked was from Alien Worlds. Looking back on this now, I know I could do better, but at the time, I thought I did a really good job. I still think I did a pretty decent job. My only complaint is I did the little flying aliens the same color as the clouds, so they kind of blend in together, but there's that one. And another one I did in this book not recently. I did this around the same time as the Red Riding Hood page, is this double page spread from Tales from the Forest Kingdom. This felt like it took forever, but I really like how this turned out. I like the background. Yeah, I really like it. And again, I just really like this book. This is another one of my favorite pages. This is one of my first completed pages in this book and by Hannah Carlson in general. I'm not a fan of the background, but the bug I love. I love the color choice. I like the shading, but I wish I could do the background over again. Another page that I did was in A Million Kawaii Cuties by Lulu Mayo. Actually, I did a few pages, and I forgot about this page, but I actually really like how this page turned out. I really like the background, and I did those with just dry neocolors. And this is one of my favorite pages. This is one of my first completed pages by Lulu Mayo. I do kind of like the background. I used alcohol markers with that page, so it did destroy the back. And here's another one of my favorite pages. Even though this is a solid single color background, I don't know why, I just really like this page and how it turned out. I think the royal blue with the pinks and peaches of the flowers just works really well. And moving on to the second question, and that is to show a background that you love. And do you love the finished product, or did you love the process? So I'm pulling out Tales from the Forest Kingdom, and I did this watercolor background that I really had a lot of fun with. I didn't have anything particular in mind, so I just was laying down color. It did bleed through in the back, so I'm a little upset about that, but I think I can cover it up if I'm going to go back and do that page. But this one was just fun, and I like the end result as well. Another background that I did that I just had fun doing, but also turned out really well, was this one from A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. I did this with Neocolor 2s. I have a hard time, for whatever reason, using Neocolor 2s, but for some reason, this time it really worked out. I could have blended it a little bit better. I even tried recreating it, and this is how that turned out, so obviously not very good. Yeah, I'm not happy about that one, but yeah, I really liked how that first owl one came out. Another one that I just recently did in January was this Inktense background. I think it came out pretty good. I think the colors blend really well together. There is a little bit of a harsh line between the yellow and like reddish magenta, but other than that, I think I just really like the color palette of it. And those are my favorite backgrounds. Question 3 is to show an uncolored page that you love. And I'm kind of cheating a little bit with this one because I couldn't pick a single favorite uncolored page. I really just love anything by Forrest Diver. I love the illustrations. They are a little bit repetitive and can be kind of busy, but I love the way they look. And I've seen some of them colored, and they just look incredible. I am just very intimidated to color her illustrations, though, so that's kind of what holds me back. But yeah, just look at these illustrations. They're just gorgeous. They're so unique and cool. I really wish they weren't on Amazon paper, but yeah, that's Keepers of the Enchanted Forest, and then this one is Guardians of the Enchanted Forest, I think. I really like this page, but of course, I was using alcohol markers and I accidentally left one uncapped and it ruined this page, and I was so mad that that happened. So it's just a forever whip, unfortunately. But yeah, I liked how it was going until that happened. But I just also really love this book. The illustrations, again, are just gorgeous, and so unique. I can't pick a favorite. I love all of them. I would color every single one of these pages. They're just a little intimidating, but yeah. And as you can see, I have started a few. I just haven't finished them. Um, that one is going to be a forever whip, unfortunately. But yeah, the illustrations are just so cool and unique and interesting. And when the pages are done, they're absolutely beautiful. But another book or another uncolored page that I love is basically anything in this book. This is Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lidehall Oberg. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. But I just love the illustration style of this book. I think it is so unique. It does remind me a little bit of Hannah Carlson, and that might be because they're both Swedish authors, I'm sorry, Swedish illustrators. But they are so cool. This is another page that I forgot to put in, a page that I colored that I loved, but I do love that one. Um, but yeah, I could see myself coloring every single illustration in this book, and I know that's not easy to say about a lot of books, but I don't think I have a single page in here that I don't like or that I don't want to color at some point. So yeah, all of these pages are beautiful and uncolored, and I want to color them. Maybe I will someday. And another page, another uncolored page that I love is this double page spread in Tales from a Forest Kingdom. That's probably my favorite Hannah Carlson book right now. Um, yeah, I think this is just a really cool page, but it's also very intimidating. Um, and I just love Hannah Carlson, her style. She has such a unique style, and I love it. I really want to get Summer Nights as well. This is probably one of the next pages that I do in that book, uh, or even that one. But yeah, anything by Hannah Carlson, I love. Anything by Emily Lidehall Oberg, I love. Like, I love this double page spread as well. I would love to be able to color that when I have a little bit more experience. And the next question is to show a book that you love. And like I said, I love this book. I love all of the illustrations in this book. I also love A Million Cute Animals by Lulu Mayo. It's probably my favorite Lulu Mayo book. I don't know if I'd color every single page in this book, but I would definitely color most of them. I think it is super cute. Her style is just a little bit difficult for me to color because I don't really know how I want to color it. Some of it's kind of realistic, some of it's cartoony, so I just have a hard time deciding if I want to go realistic or cartoony. And like I said before, anything by Forest Diver, I love her illustrations. These are the only two books that I have by her right now, and I love them. I just haven't really colored in them, unfortunately. Hopefully I'll be able to color in them more, maybe a little bit later this year. But yeah, and even order some of her other books as well. But I love those two books. I also love Twilight Garden by Maria Trolle. I tend to like some of her older work more than like some of the newer books that she's just put out. I personally like how they fill the page. A lot of her newer stuff has a lot of negative space. Yeah, that one's not my favorite, but I force myself to finish coloring it. Anyways, yeah, I tend to like her older stuff, and I love every single illustration in Twilight Garden. But I can't say that about some of her other books. Even the mandalas, which I'm not keen on mandalas, I like them in that one. And again, Tales from the Forest Kingdom, it's probably, like I said, my favorite Hannah Carlson book right now. I just like the style of it. There's another Forever Whip. Um, but yeah, I think it's really interesting, and I like the variation between the pages of portrait and animals and like flowers and foliage. I think it's a great book. And as you can tell, I have a lot of started pages in this book. Unfortunately, some of them are probably going to be forever whips. But yeah, I think this is probably, this Daydreams and Summer Night are my favorite books by her. I just don't have Daydreams or Summer Night yet. But yeah, this is probably my favorite book to flip through out of all my coloring books. And again, this is probably one I could see myself actually finishing. I don't love every single page in this book, but I don't mind them. And I think that's pretty hard to do, to be able to have people like every single illustration in your book. So yeah, Tales from the Forest Kingdom. And another one of my favorite books is Small Victories. I decided last minute to grab this book out because I just like playing in this book. I have so many started whips in here where I'm just playing and experimenting. I think this is a really great book to experiment in. The paper does hold up fairly well. Like here, I was testing out some of my pencils, how they would do on the paper. Water mediums are okay in here. I wouldn't say they're my favorite mediums to use in Johanna Basford books, but here's another whip that could very easily be finished that I just haven't yet. And I have some over here. Also, I just like pulling this out when I don't have a lot of time, but I feel like I really want to color. So yeah, this is just a great book to play around in. Like here, I started a couple flowers just for color combination experimentation. I'm playing around with my polychromos on this bug page. Again, testing out some of my pencils on the paper. Also, there's a little bit of everything in here, and I think this is probably my favorite page. The two butterflies, or butterfly and moth, are my favorite, not the second mushroom one. I was trying something and it didn't work out how I intended it to. But yeah, I just like playing with this book. And the next question is to show your favorite embellishments. And here I use some metallic watercolor. That's probably one of my favorite things to use for embellishments, is any type of special watercolors like gold or metallic watercolors. Another page that I used my metallic watercolors on was in A Million Cute Animals, and it's on the moon on this page. And I also used it on this page, if we can just not look at the background. But yeah, I like the effects that it gives, and I like the versatility of them. Another embellishment that I also like using is gold ink. My Winsor & Newton gold ink gets used quite a bit, especially on pages like this where it looks like it's filigree. Here I used it again, and this is also a whip. But yeah, I used it to outline this little scene, and I just love the way it looks. I think it adds that perfect little touch of sparkle or shiny to a page when you're not looking to use something as intense as like a glitter gel pen, because sometimes that can be just a little bit too much for the page. Another embellishment I like to use is my Wink of Stella glitter brush pen, and I used it on the flowers here in this little glass terrarium type thing. And I'm pretty sure I used the clear glitter Wink of Stella, but yeah, I actually haven't used that in a while, but I love the way it looks. I love anything glitter. If I can add glitter to my pages, I try to. So yeah, that's another one of my favorite embellishments that I like to use. And like I was saying earlier, I also like using my Jelly Roll glaze pens. Here I've used them on the bubbles, and it just adds a unique look to the page. It's not as shiny as glossy accents, but I think it's a pretty good alternative if you don't have that. But yeah, I just like the way it looks. Another embellishment that I use often are my Sparkle Pop pens or my King Art glitter gel pens. I just, again, like I said, like adding glitter to my pages wherever I can, or if I'm starting to lose interest with the page, sometimes I'll take out my glitter gel pens, or here on the little jar I use the Jelly Roll glaze pens in light blue, and I'll just play around with my gel pens, and sometimes it'll help bring back that spark of inspiration to help me finish the pages. And the next question is, what other hobby do you have besides coloring? I like to crochet every now and then, but I would say coloring with alcohol markers is my second hobby. I would argue there's absolutely a difference between coloring with pencils compared to coloring with alcohol markers. So yeah, besides crocheting, coloring with alcohol markers, coloring with pencils, those are basically my two hobbies that I've had for the longest, and that I continue to do now. I haven't just given up on them. But yeah, and this is like one of my favorite books to use alcohol markers in. As you can see, it's single-sided, and I just love really cutesy type of images, especially with alcohol markers, like Bobby Goode's. This is one of my favorite pages in this book. Oh, and I didn't realize I didn't finish that. Oh well. But yeah, coloring with alcohol markers and crocheting are my two other hobbies. And the next question is, what color do you like to use? I like to use pink. And yes, pink is my favorite color. And I didn't realize I forgot a question, so I'm just going to flip through Worlds of Wonder to show some of my whips while I answer that question. And that is, what style do you like to color? I don't know if I have a favorite style that I like to color, but the things that I like to color most are definitely florals, but they can get really repetitive. I don't necessarily like architecture, like buildings. Like this one I followed a color along, otherwise I would have no idea how I would want to color buildings. For whatever reason, I struggle with that. Or houses. Houses are another one that is kind of hard for me. And I'm not sure why. I just don't really know what colors to use. With florals, it's easy. Or even stuff like berries. I think even portraits, I would prefer coloring a portrait over houses or buildings. And the last question, what is your favorite thing about the coloring community? And that's an easy one for me, and that's just sharing and looking at other people's art. I love being able to share the things that I create, and I love looking at the pages other people create. I also love generally just how kind and welcoming the coloring community has been, and not just to me, but everybody that shares their work online. Another thing that I love about our community is just how helpful everybody is. When people are looking for new pencils or pencil reviews or just ideas, I love how everybody comments their own opinions to try and help everyone. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Colors, for sharing this tag. I loved answering all these questions and sharing my art. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.